Massimo, are you surprised to be a surprise?
Nice one. Not really, but it's a good feeling, for sure. As I always said that every year we had the reference from, let's say, the first, and every year we had a sort of target to recover from the first. The most difficult will be next year. So obviously we were a bit lucky also due to the fact that some of our competitors didn't increase their performance, maybe as expected. So we show up, let's say, more than everybody expected. But our performance is something that is very similar to what I was expecting. Maybe not as good regarding some tracks like in the middle of the season, because we were really fast in that point, and maybe not so bad as the end of the season. So let's say average, yeah, the answer is yes.
And how did you manage to do this incredible season?
I think that first of all, Aleix was in a super shape and he started very, very strong. I think the fact that having a teammate like so talented like Maverick put Aleix in a condition to really to be focused and not wasting even a tenth in a whole race. I think that was a boost for both of them. So very nice to see that, and very curious to see two more riders next year. I think that we are faster because we are a better company. It's not a secret that since I joined the company, we introduce new people and very young from university, working a lot with universities, but also more experience from MotoGP, and also from other teams. So and also from Formula One. So as I said, we are faster because we are a better company. The point, as I was saying at the beginning, is how can we keep growing this trend? But this is the challenge, the best challenge we want.
Speaking with Aleix, she explained me that one of the main important change for him was the fact that now the people, there is not a lot of change of people, but the people are doing what they know the best to do, and not like in the past. So yeah, what was the key in terms of management to change everything?
Well, having a company with some more people is also easier to dedicate people to do their proper job. My first target was to remove from Romano's shoulders everything that was not related to performance. So ask him not to follow organizational stuff or sporting stuff or rider stuff. That takes a lot of time from him, and making things more clear, it's easier for everybody. But I don't feel we have done nothing special as you from the outside. We just the main secret is that we need to work a lot from the morning to the night, for the evening / night, and do it every day. And if you do it, the other people with you do it as well. So I don't want to say that let's say the ball was rolling slower, but maybe when you start changing some things, introducing new people, the company suddenly feel that, oh well, something is going on, maybe we can do it. Yes, and remember, people, if you work hard, you can do it. Believe in what you can do it. Aleix has a tattoo, believe in yourself. Yes. No? It's a perfect motto.
If you introduce so many people as you have brought into the company, the first thing...
Well, so many.
Well, I mean, no, engineers from different areas, no? But you have to engage this so that for all speak the same language.
Yeah. This is the nicest part also from my side. Yeah, there are few things that are quite interesting culturally. One is the region where we live. That Veneto is a strong region. People are very proud of the place where they live, and I respect a lot that. And I'm not from this region. And I'm bringing people also outside from the region. So there is something from this kind of culture, and the other kind of culture is from 4 wheels to 2 wheels. That is also very different culturally, because F1 normally, if you work in F1, well, the smallest team ever, I think, was my 20 years ago time in Minardi. Super lesson, but nowadays if you work in F1 you work with at least 500 people, so everything is much more structured. So if you come from that world, you expect to, so you need to speak to people and tell them it's not the same. Be ready to be much more horizontal rather than vertical in way of thinking. The bike is completely different from the car, and vice versa. Also for the guys that are working since ages in 2 wheels, they have a super experience, but maybe a different point of view can open their mind. And I feel this is what we did, for example, in Aero. Our current head of electronics, Stefano Romeo, that I took from Ferrari Gestione Sportiva, he started here in Noale. So sometimes you also have this kind of lucky experience that 2 wheels, 4 wheels, back to 2 wheels. For sure, your way of thinking is a bit more open than.
And the egos of all these engineers to handle.
This is the most difficult part. Yeah. Not just engineers. There are also some managers here that are very strong. There are guys that I feel that one of these guys do the job of 3 of normal guy, and are very difficult character. But at the end, if you want to roll the ball faster, you need to try to handle the character, accept a few, let's say, downside in sometimes in their behavior, and then speak to people to compensate. But you need the ball to go. But it doesn't mean that next year we will keep the same growth. So I'm happy for what we did so far, but people tell me that I'm someone that is a never-ending sad guy, because I'm never happy, I don't want to be like that. I like to be happy for the achievement, but I want to win. Claro. Did we win? No, so I'm not happy. So very simple.
How many new people you bring since you arrived? Coming from the car racing side?
I don't have a straight number actually. In terms of employees, we are almost the same. I think like 5 people more. But in terms of also consultant that, let's say, married the project, then there are maybe also 10 more. And also don't forget that since we changed from, let's say, hybrid company together with Gresini to a factory team, we had to employ or get more consultant like for racing and adapt to the standard of everybody, because now the mechanics are not given by Gresini, the catering, logistics, so we had to do that. So the number is even more than what I said.
And all your budget has increased?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. We can have a figure? What does it?
No,
not in terms of number, but in terms of percentage.
The percentage, I would say a lot. I would say a lot.
Percentage.
Yes, it's a good percentage that
it looks important.
To be honest, if I look at 19 when I arrived, I felt that if we would have reached this number, I would say I think we will be competitive if we are there, and we are there now. So we need to keep that. What we are missing really, it's a big sponsor. This is something that is pisses me a bit, but I'm asking our property Piaggio to cover a lot of cost, and I'm glad that they are keep supporting us with such a big motivation. But I need to find a top sponsor. I think we deserve to get a top sponsor. We show that we can do the job. So.
Why is so difficult? Because
COVID didn't help. Russia didn't help. So in general, companies that want to put a lot of money into partnership like that, because nowadays is not just a sponsorship, or what means sponsorship is different from what was in the past. In the past was okay. You give me this is the sticker put in the chassis or the bodywork. Now it's more of creating business, so activation or dealing also with the Piaggio group to do some business. For example, I take one that for us is very representative, like Castrol. We started a business with Castrol, but now we have a partner that is a super technical partner. So we work a lot with them with oil and fuel, and we develop the product. So you need to find partners like that. Obviously, Monster, Red Bull, these are unfortunately taken already. There are also some other good sponsors that we are approaching.
Can you compare the situation in this area with the Formula One? Because it looks like that F1 has not this kind of problems, or do they have? Is it because of the championship?
I think that F1 is living a fantastic moment in terms of perception of the people. I think that the glamour of F1 is not comparable to MotoGP, is much higher, but the show that we provide is much better than what they do. But so we should find a way to get more sponsor in general, to get more people in general. Also because if you look at if you compare the number of the people that F1 is moving compared to us, it's very different. So again, we should not be happy to what we are achieving, despite the numbers of the attendances are not so bad. Like apart Mugello, that was a very bad example, but I think there were some condition not to be a top attendance race. I think Netflix for F1 gave a boost that Amazon didn't give. I mean, the show that we did was not the same impact. So I think from Dorna side, we should wonder why. Watch them. I watch both of them, and I have a sort of idea, but it's not my. Well, I won't say it's not my business. I'll say I'm ready to speak to Dorna if they need some help. I think that in F1 riders like to show more glamour than MotoGP riders. MotoGP riders are always training, showing their passion on what they do. There is more lifestyle, let's say average, I don't want to say everybody. And this maybe help the fact that young guys follow F1. I think also that we should find some new ideas. For example, next year we will have 42 races. It's going to be bloody intense and difficult for the rider, for the team, but for the riders in particular. So I'm sure that the sprint race will bring some more attention. I think also the Friday should be even more interesting because let's say the access to it Q2. But this is not a matter for the normal public. It's for the passionate people. But you have with us a sort of 40-minute booster, and then you don't have so much. So in F1 I see a lot more of preparation, preparing the event, where you get also strategy. We cannot have the strategy unless you flag to flag. Radio communication that are very important to increase the show. And I think we should find, despite I'm not convinced, I think it's a bit dangerous for the riders, but maybe something we should find a way to do it. Could be one direction only. Only the rider can speak to the box, so he's not distracted. But maybe something that is said by the rider is super important, and people get more attention. So we get attention from people. I think we should look at the MotoGP business and show from a different point of view. Not copying what the other are doing, but wondering why the other are more successful than us.
Aprilia was one of the few teams that opened the door for the series.
Yeah, from the radio side internally, I think we are a step ahead of the other competitors. It's also part of the F1 culture to communicate in a sort of intercom style rather than radio style. So if you speak, I don't have to wait for you to finish. So we can have a two-direction talk even on the radio internally. We are very open, first of all, because I think this is what the people want to see. When we have guests and we show on real the, let's say, behind the scene, they look like, oh, I didn't expect there is so much workload. I didn't expect that, and the people want to come back. And so we, from one side, we should push more that aspect. From the other side, we should show also what we are doing, because the fact that you show what we are doing, let's say on TV, behind the scene, is not cutting and stopping the passion of and the willing to be there on track, is increasing that. So this is why we want to push more, because I don't think we just benefit from that. I think the entire system of MotoGP will benefit from them. I saw the service that the show that Dorna did when we got the radio during the race. Actually, it was also Assen that was maybe the most amazing and passionate race of the year for us. But I think I feel it was interesting. I try to put myself in someone that doesn't care about the motorbike or motorsport, and I see what's going on there, and I say, well, that's emotional.
How do you explain that the MotoGP riders are so conservative in terms of they doesn't want to show what they think, what they, they are in F1, all the riders act like actors. It's not the case in...
Regarding ourselves, we are not much conservative.
No,
I mean,
I told you are one of the... No, but
even on the Amazon one, when we saw Aleix,
right.
let's say, shouting, coming back, and then I said, the camera is there. Okay, too bad, but...
You were a kind of leader team in terms of, open the doors to show what means the sport and try to attract new people. But in general, it's not the case for...
Maybe it's also cultural. I don't know which one were the most open or the most close. For sure, also in our pants, if you put in our pants, like we were also the last couple of years ago when Amazon started, and so we need also let's say a different way to get to know each other a bit better, to show the Aprilia brand. And getting a sort of nice image, sympathetic attitude. Why they don't wanna? I don't know. Maybe we should just keep pushing and keep asking and explain why we should do that.
Yeah, because
awareness is important also inside.
The riders, at least the MotoGP riders, when you ask them about opening, they say, I get paid to race. And they think that that's their job, when there is a lot of peripheral to do.
You know what? in F1 experience, one of the biggest point was the number of days. Also in MotoGP, but in F1 more, the number of days contractually for the riders for the sponsors.
Yeah.
Because you get if you do 18 races is a matter. Going to 2021, it looks like only 2-3 races more. It's not only 2-3 races more. It's so for the recovery of the riders and also even during the race weekend, there are slots where our riders are press, marketing, autograph signature and stuff like that, very, very close, but normally concentrate mainly on Thursday and but in F1 is really much worse than that, and drivers realize that. Well, Fernando, someone that also came to us to see the races, said, I get less when I go to the car because too many marketing stuff, So, okay, Ferrari was the top from that point of view, so too much. But that kind of culture in F1 drivers is more, let's say, present than, so we should also. But I do that if I have a sponsor to to pay, and that they deserve to do that. So I'm looking for having a busy rider because we need to do appearances with good sponsors.
Next year will be on the Sunday morning. There will be more space for the interaction between the public and the.
Yeah, maybe yes. I was in favor of even removing completely the warm-up. I think it's a waste of time. Warm-up statistically is just the place where you crash the most, where it should be the place where you just set up everything. But also in warm-up you get 20 degrees track temperature less, so you set up a bike for a track that it doesn't completely matter to what you are going to race. So I agree that if there is a problem, you just do a couple of laps to, okay, everything is working fine. So there should be no performance there. Yeah, should be more time for. I see that the approach of Dorna is to start creating more, let's say, marketing environment. I saw in many places. We went with the riders, with Andrea and the marketing guys.
Stage, fun stage.
Yeah, the fun stage. Yeah, people want to see the riders. Yeah. People want to see. If you go to America, if you ever be lucky to go to the 500, Indianapolis, I mean, there are days where drivers sit on the table, the queue of people kilometers. And they do autograph signature with all the riders in a row. People want to see the riders, the actor, the main actor. They want to see close to them.
But you think there is a link between what could happen on a track, like sending autograph, and more people in front of the TV?
No, for sure there are the two things are related, but are not the same. So there is one job to do inside the race weekend, but for the people that are there, but if people in TV see that the grandstand are full of people, then they think they feel they want to attend that because they feel maybe there's something more than just racing there. In the past, I remember that concerts were done. I was told that it didn't work, but I don't know.
The best example
thinking outside of the box, let's say, as we say.
Is the French Grand Prix promoter. He does a really good job.
Yeah.
Riders on stage, concert, and the Le Mans is incredible.
Yeah, it's a super event, and you have to think also that there is only that event in only that race. We have 2 races in Italy. We have 4 races in
Spain.
Spain.
But Michi did a lot of things to attract people. The price of the ticket, and
This is also. It's true that in F1 the price of the ticket are still super high.
Yeah.
and they are doing, you know that they have, like we have the villas, they have the paddock club. Now they are doing a super paddock club. So ask you 10,000 euros per ticket. So stupid money, I would say, but it works for them. Maybe we need first to go down, get the people, and then start rising up. But I think we should promote, as you say, more and more, and find a different way. I don't know if like in Le Mans for the 24 hours you have some slot of time. Okay, they prepare it for a week, but where people go into the city, drivers go into the city for a sort of parade. We should start thinking about things like that. Maybe then we are the limiting factor when we reach a good point, because we want to dedicate only to our sponsor. So we need to differentiate. But so far, I think we are in a moment where we will need a big and higher push on the marketing side.
Massimo, let's come back to racing. How do you see the progression of your two riders, and what to expect from them for next year?
I think that Aleix will be again very strong. He will start very strong, and I think personally, maybe it's not like that, but I think that the new format is good for him, because you have less time to prepare. As Aleix is someone that jump into the bike, and in a couple of laps is already 99% to the limit, his limit and the limit of the bike. I don't think it's a case that he won in Argentina, where the race weekend was only 2 days. Regarding Maverick, obviously I have a very high expectation for him. We saw the progression, and then we saw also him struggling at the end of the season. Having so many races for a rider is not easy, also from the physical point of view, but also mentally. This is why I'm very curious to see what we all will do with them for 42 races. 42 races is a big effort. Mentally is a big effort. I don't think we can compare this one to Superbike. Bikes are a bit more tough to ride. Let's say that.
You were not in favor of...
No, I'm in favor of the sprint race.
But don't you think it would be better to have maybe a few races and not to start with all the championship? Because Formula One went to a few races and...
Maybe as a first year, yes. Even if from the, let's say, fairness point of view, there are some tracks that are in favor of a bike and others. So, but as a first year, yes, I kind of understand what you say. I think that having 2 races, we should have done less races, less event. If we stay to 18 events and we cancel 2 events even having just one in Italy and having just one in Spain, I know that is the market is Spain and Italy, true, but to open the business, we need to go around the world, and I'm very happy that we go to India, for example. I'm very happy that we went to Indonesia, because those are the places where let's say the market can really grow for our product. So.
What do you expect from Miguel and Raul?
A lot.
And why did you hire these 2 riders?
Personally, I rate Miguel one of the rider that can fight for the title like Aleix and Maverick. So I think that let's say in an ideal world, Miguel should continue with us after RNF, also in the factory team. Let's say what Aleix will do in the next 2 years, after the next 2 years, sorry. But maybe it could be a very good replacement. Because so he has the potential to show that he can win races.
He will not be a test rider on Grand Prix for the factory team, somehow.
No, but we want growth, the performance, and know not just of Miguel, but also the team. So if Miguel is faster with a different chassis that Aleix didn't like and Maverick didn't like, let's try anyway. So it will bring us different information, but something that MotoGP and motorbike in general is teaching me is that compared to F1, the rider can do something completely different because of their feeling is different, so and their rider style. And regarding Raul, I went to Raul's family after the first race in his first race in Moto2. So I was, let's say, trying to get him since a lot of time because I rate him a very big talent. I don't think he showed his talent in KTM for many reasons. I think that due to his style, maybe our bike can suit him better than the previous one. Even if you are a super talent, you should adapt to what you have. So he didn't show that, but still I'm convinced that he can do it. I think you will need a bit of time because when you have a super season like in what he did in Moto2, that no one else did it before, and what he did in MotoGP, maybe you start getting a bit confused also on yourself. Which one I'm the two, the good one or the bad one? So we need a bit of time to not give him pressure. I think the other three, Aleix, Maverick and Miguel, will be very fast, so he will have a very good example close to him that in one day, in one way will be a sort of no excuse the bike can do it. From the other side, he doesn't need to panic. He's super young, he has time, we believe in him, RNF believe in him a lot. So I have to say that when we met Razlan and Wilco, we got one principle, say that was we get one rider with experience, not old, but because Miguel is still very young, like Maverick is still very young, but let's say with experience, and one that is almost rookie. So we got our list, and I put Miguel and Raul, and then I said, okay, you guys show me your list, and the name was the same. So say, okay, now we have a clear target, we go for it. And luckily we achieve it. So there is a big expectation, but we know that we are not the fastest bike on the grid. So we need to grow quite a lot.
3 Spanish, 1 Portuguese.
It's
very company.
That is something that I would love to have an Italian. It's not a secret that I spoke to Enea again 2 years ago, but he was dreaming what he achieved, so I'm happy for it. I cannot say more. But I think there are some good Italians as well that maybe in the future can join our company, or let's say through RNF, and let's see. Ideally, it's a business for 2 years' time now. So beginning of next year, let's see if there is a good Italian. I think there are good Italians.
Italians that are already in MotoGP or that are coming?
Well, I think there are good Italians in MotoGP already. Coming, we saw up and downs. Still not ready. So the 2023 will be important to see. But to be honest, I'm not caring much about what they do to 2023. Because we have 2 years that we are done. So, but
do you consider the Moto2 class as a class that you can really see what a rider is capable? Because from what happened with Gardner, for example, and even Raul, he has a KTM, but sometimes it's very difficult to understand what is the level of this class.
Yeah, I think the class is good, but the way they buy, they ride the bike is good for their let's say training for the MotoGP. We need to when we see this kind of cases, as you mentioned, we need to consider. Well, if we in a world we have to say what is the talent is the speed you reach one certain performance. So if I look at Garner, world champion, super rider, but he was in Moto2 since a bit of time. Maybe not in the best condition, but he got the experience. The case of Raul, first year from Moto3, so you say, wow, there is something special there. It is the first feeling, you know?
Yeah, like Maverick did in the past.
Like Maverick in the past, it is a sort of, okay, the potential is there. Then how to get all the stars in a line to get out of the talent is a different matter. But also we need to consider which are the competitors in that class. 1 year we had Luca Marini, Marco Bezzecchi, Ron Fernandez, and the last year, for example, we didn't have all of those talent. We saw, okay, Ugura, Augusto did a fantastic championship. Again, with if I look at the career of Augusto, first year was super, second year with the top team was less than expected. So, you know, at the end, those guys have a brain, an heart, and they create expectation on themselves, and sometimes they don't deliver because not because of their talent, but because the conditions are not in the right one. So, to judge properly a category and a rider, we need to pay attention and know the rider and the story of each single rider, why he did like that, in which condition he was, what was the team. What happened to the rider? You know, the family maybe had some problem, and the kid felt also was not relaxed, let's say, focused when he was on the bike. So it's not just a matter of looking at the category and say who's winning. Okay, this one is a good one. No, there are many more things.
Having